pretty much focusing around what's it called? The 2026 sponsorship forecast, right? The roles, the rules, and the real opportunities for tech professionals and immigrants in the UK. So why this topic is important, I am going to also explain that there's been a lot of mismatch and misconception in terms of what exactly the expectation is and what is available in the market. By expectation, I mean what the recruiters are expecting you to have, what job seekers also have as available skill, right? So we're going to treat all of that. Please feel free to jot your questions down because I will be taking questions as we proceed. So it seems my screen is getting better now. By my screen, I mean my Google Meet. So it should be a very interesting ride. So I would love you to engage with me. I would love you to indulge me as we proceed in the conversation so that it's not just like, okay, mom is speaking to herself or speaking alone, right? Nobody to respond or anything. So please use the chat, type your reactions, your comments, and everything like that, as I will love to see them as we proceed. So, like I said, the session is going to be treating a very interesting topic. The year is almost coming to an end. It's very important for us to know what to expect in the coming year and also years after. A lot of times people are worried about, oh, what's the future of my, chosen career path? Am I future proof? Is my career path future proof or not? Right? So all of these questions comes to mind, but sometimes we're kind of missing the most important thing. And again, like I said, we're going to get to that. So I know a couple of us are joining Amdari's session for the first time. So I would love to introduce Amdari to those who are just joining for the first time. So if you're just joining for the first time, please type a 1 in the chat. Type a 1 in the chat. I'd love to see while I introduce Amdari. But if you've joined us before, okay, oh, my namesake is the first to type. All right, she's joining us for the first time. Thank you, Mom, here. Okay, Millicent is also joining for the first time. Steven, hello. Okay, awesome. Again, like I said, it's going to be a very interesting ride. And thank you all so much for your patience, because I know that, the technical glitch at the start of the session really is enough to throw anyone off balance, right? But you guys are still here. That's so much appreciated. So Amdari is actually a platform that helps you gain real-world experience through internship. So we all know the issue of getting a job today. Recruiters, especially in the UK, okay, Joseph is joining us for the second time, amazing. Recruiters, especially in the UK, will tell you that they need you to have proof of work done, especially within that climb, right? So if you're coming from Nigeria or any part of Africa, you've never worked in the UK, specifically in this niche, the tech niche, right? Getting a job will become a struggle. So that's where Amdari comes in. We're very familiar with this pain point, right? We also had to go the route of internship for us to even get a job. So we said, okay, if the experience is not available, because nobody would hire you when you're just fresh out of boot camp or training, or you're just relocating. Nobody would hire you because they want you to have experience, and then they want you to even have domain experience within the UK. So if that is the case, we decided to start Amdari. Let's build a platform that helps immigrants in the UK gain real-world experience across different tech career paths, like data analytics, data science, data engineering, business analysis, project management, SOC, ethical hacking, and GRC. So I'd like you to give me a thumbs up if you've taken a course in any of the career paths on my screen. Just please give me a thumbs up if you've taken a course in any of the career paths on my screen. Okay, thank you, Dari. This question is very important, and you'll understand why as we proceed. So like I said, please indulge me and give me reactions like Adeb or Soye is doing. Is that Zuliat or Zaliat? Okay, Zaliat. So I believe that is, a thumbs up. Okay, yeah, Omomi, thank you. Abimbola, thank you. Larry, Steven, thank you. Millicent. So I see the reactions. Keep it coming. Thank you very much. Like I said, there is a reason why I asked this question. Even beyond the fact that Amdari helps you gain experience in these career paths, you will also realize as we proceed that there are career paths that are in high demand, that organizations are sponsoring for, and they also fall under the skill set that is currently shortage list rather. So we would, unravel all of this as we proceed. So yeah, let's move on. Okay. All right. So, like I said already, we're just going to be treating some major things around the two truths that exist, and also the employability maths, so we can proceed when we can proceed. So now, real quick, I really like us to ask ourselves one key question, right? I'd like us to ask ourselves one key question, and that is, do you need to chase the job first, or do you need to chase sponsorship first? Sincerely, based on how you feel about this, can you tell me which one to you feels like the best strategy? Should you chase the job first, or should you chase the sponsorship first? To you now, right? So it doesn't matter what anybody already said, what one group said, or what one rule said. I will just like to know what you think. Okay, everybody's saying job first. Thank you very much, Amorimi, Abimbola, Sadiq. Okay, everybody's going, so far, everybody that has reacted, right? Everybody's going with chasing the job first. So we would know if that's the best route to go about it, or you need to chase sponsorship first. So let me do a quick introduction of myself as we proceed. My name is Omaomi Victoria Samson, as you might have seen on my screen, right? I'm one of the co-founders here at Amdari. I'm also the Chief Technology and Business Officer at Amdari. Now, I've worked across industries like EdTech, FilmTech, and also marketing in the capacity of a software developer, product manager, and also product marketer, as well as, okay, which is coming. Okay, which is sponsorship first. Okay, so I've worked across all of these industries as a software developer, product manager, and also a business analyst. And in the last 1 year, through Amdari, I've been able to help over 1,000 plus professionals gain real world experience across the UK, and some of them have gone on to even land jobs. Who these people are, how Amdari helped them, or how Amdari played this key role, we will get to that as we proceed. Now, Amdari is built, like I said earlier, from a familiar pain point. And we have other brains behind what we have today at Amdari. And that's Ifemena Ipro. He's also one of the co-founders at Amdari. He is a major and key player in the tech and especially the data ecosystem, having helped over 2,000 professionals gain real-world experience across the UK, right? And also helping them transition seamlessly and landing their first job. Now, it's not limited again just to these two that I've mentioned. We also have Adeza Suleiman, who's also a tech professional, a renowned professional actually, in the tech ecosystem and data ecosystem at large. He has helped over 2,000 plus professionals also to gain real-world experience. And some of them have gone on to land sponsorship jobs with NHS and companies like Deloitte and the likes. So again, when I said earlier that Amdari is built from a place of personal pain points, it's because we all have had, our fair share of this experience. We've had to go through internship before, we eventually land the job. So I said earlier, what's the most important thing you think you need to chase first? Should you chase sponsorship first, or should you chase experience, or a job rather? We have a couple of people, more people who said job, and then the others who said sponsorship. All right, thank you, Selman. So only one person said sponsorship so far. Now, we would, unpack everything that has to do with this conversation. But in the last decade, one thing I want us to get very, very conversant with and familiar with is the fact that there's been a lot of tech layoffs. There has been a lot of tech layoffs. Why has there been that much tech layoff? We would understand that as we proceed with the help of data and reports. And then, if there has been layoffs, is it that companies don't need them? Is it that companies don't want to hire them? Is it that they're not competent enough? And if there are layoffs, does that mean there is more vacancy? Does that mean there is opening for other people to come in and take this vacant spot, right? We would again get very familiar. So what are the questions that has been going on in everybody's mind? By everybody, I mean the two key stakeholders in this picture right now, right? And these key people in this conversation is the candidate and the employer. The candidate being yourself, right? The person who is applying to get a job, and the employer being the person who is looking to hire you and bring you on board their company. Now, the candidate is saying something like, I'm applying everywhere, but no one is calling me back. I get ghosted. And then the employer is saying, I'm hiring every time, but no one is qualified enough to fill this, role. So if this candidate is saying this and the employer is saying that, I promise you, they are both not wrong, but at the end of the day, one person is closer to the fact, right? So the candidates applying are not getting a job. Yeah, that's because they're not getting the job, right? But then the employer saying that, oh, okay, there are no qualified candidates. Is that the case really? So one thing I need you to ask is, if the fact that you don't have a job is because there are no jobs or because the job market is saturated, please, I'd like you to drop in the chat what you think this the case is, right? Because it would allow us also decide whether the candidate or the employer is the person that's closest to the fact. Why am I saying closest to the fact? Because at the end of the day, none of them is wrong. They are both right, but one person is closer to the fact, right? So what do you think the reason? But before I even ask that question, give me a thumbs up if you've taken a course in tech, but you're still struggling to get a job. Please give me a thumbs up. Okay, thank you, Sodi. You've taken a course, you're struggling to get a job. Please give me a thumbs up. While we are at that, only I don't think I am pinned yet. So please pin me so that, because I think my frame is very small. I mean, that's what I see. It might be Google Chrome still acting up, but I don't think I am pinned. So, okay, thank you very much. I see all of the thumbs up. So you've taken a tech course, but you're still struggling to get a job. First things first, this session is perfectly. But you have taken a course but have never worked. Okay. This session is perfect for you, Uche. So as I was saying earlier, right, one of the key things that we should ask ourselves is, so Victor, I will take questions towards the end of this session. I'll take questions, don't worry. So one key thing you should ask is, why is that the case? I know Stephen has responded. He said it's because the job market is saturated, right? So what do we also think? I'd like to get more responses, right? Not just from Stephen. Why do you think people, before we move, let's still stick here. Why do we think people are struggling to land a job? You as the candidate now was speaking from your point of view, right? Again, honestly, there is no right or wrong answer. So please feel free to drop your reason. Stephen has dropped his, right? There is no right or wrong answer, but there is one that is always closest to the fact, like I said earlier. So we have a couple of leaders, according to a research carried out by IDC, by Indeed, and also by CompTIA, right? And this research said about 87% of tech leaders agree that finding skilled tech talent to support business priorities is harder than ever. So if the candidates are saying that, oh, it's because the job market is saturated, because that's what everybody on this call is saying, and then the actual gatekeepers, the people that will hire you, are saying that it is because finding skilled talent to support business priorities is harder than ever, then we would take a look at all of this just to know who is closest to the fact. Like I said, it's not a case of who is right or wrong. It's a case of somebody is closest to the fact, right? And what you have to do strategy-wise to make sure that you are on that side that is aligning with the expectation of these gatekeepers. The gatekeepers I'm referring to, they are the recruiters, right? The people who would let you in at the end of the day. Now, I've already mentioned this. If you say that the fact that the job market is saturated is the reason why you've not gotten a job, then we would know if truly you are closest to the fact, that's you, the applicant, or the market, that's the employers now, right? So we're going to take a look at all of this using data. And one thing I have done is I've attached the link to all of these reports. So you can feel free to go to, so just make sure you fill the form, because my colleague is going to be dropping the attendance form in the chat, right? You see I'm very good. You'll drop the attendance form in the chat. Please fill the form so you can have access to this sheet and also the reports that I have. So every part where you see me say, where I link it, you can easily get the reports there. I have a lot of reports, and it would really, really help you have a better picture of what the job market is going to look like next year. I know there are so many rooms. I promise you, I know there are so many rooms. But at the end of the day, when you take the strategic approach towards getting this, and it's not just difficult, it's not even difficult. It's not difficult at all. I'm going to be giving you about just 3 key tips that I know works a lot. Not in theory, but in practice, because it worked for me and it's worked for people that I know. But I just want us to support and back up everything we're saying here with data. Because now, I said earlier, nobody is wrong, but somebody is closest to the fact. So everybody has said it's because the job market is saturated. Now, we can see here that job openings, according to this report by Indeed Tech Talent, right? They said the job openings remain elevated at 7.2 million as of July this year. While this indicates continued demand for workers, the pace of hiring has notably decelerated compared to the post-pandemic boom years. What this is essentially telling us is that there are jobs out there, contrary to the fact that everybody on this call said, oh, the job market is saturated. So let's take a look at a couple of other facts. Like I said, I'm going to be backing up all of this claim with what we have out there. Now, according to another report that was released this month, this is just November, and this was released by the BLS, that's Bureau of Labor Statistics. Tech occupation are expected to grow much faster than average from 2024, that was last year, till 2034, that's in 10 years' time, with a projected 300 plus job openings every year. So if this is the projection and people are still struggling to get a job, what then is causing this particular, delay? Why are people struggling to get a job, right? So we'll take a look at why this is the case. But then again, another projection, sorry, please, yeah. So another projection is the fact that we have it broken down career pathwise. I said something at the start of this session. I said there is a reason why I'm asking if you've taken a course in those career paths that I listed on my screen. The reason is because these career paths are in high demand. So if you're struggling to get a job, right, just a minute. So if you're struggling to get a job and the job market is saying that 414% growth is projected for data science and data analysts in the next 10 years, then why are you struggling to get a job? If there is going to be continuous demand, if more roles are created. Then for cybersecurity roles, there is going to be a 367% growth projection for this field. The same thing applies to business analyst role as well as project management role. The report is here. This is not my word. This is exactly how it is carried out, right? The report that was carried out and put together by CompTIA, like I said. So it's more like the state of the tech workforce. If you will like to have, it's a long list of reports, like it's a lot, I promise you. If you like to have access to this, please fill the form that my colleague is dropping, because I will be sharing the link to it so that you can go verify this fact for yourself. So if this is the projection, including for roles like software and QA roles, if this is the projection, why exactly then are you the person that says, oh, I have applied to jobs everywhere and nobody is calling me back? We can move on. Please. So why are you the person that's saying, I've applied to jobs and I'm still struggling to get a job, right? So I would like us to take a look at something. Now, we've seen things from your POV, and we've also addressed, we're still going to see a couple of things from your POV, and we're going to be comparing it to what the gatekeepers, I'm really using this word gatekeeper deliberately, because they are the people that will let you in, right? They are the people that will let you in. Okay, so if these people are saying that, oh, because of this reason, because of that reason, we're not letting people in, and then the job seekers, the applicants are also saying, oh, this is why we've not gotten the job, you can see that there is misalignment. I also asked that question deliberately just to see if we are thinking like the recruiter. All right, so we can move on now. So I just wanted to know if we're thinking like the recruiter. So let's take a look at the response to this. The question was, why are you struggling to get a job if the job market and the projection out there is saying that the job roles will grow by so percentage, like times 400 plus percentage, right? So if that is the case, and you're saying that, oh, it's because the job market is saturated, but then the jobs are out there. Let's know what the recruiters are saying. Now, according to them, job opportunity minus job readiness is equal to skill shortage, right? Now, what do they mean by this? If the jobs are out there, like the projection has shown, right? But the people who are ready, right, who are looking for the job, don't let me say ready, the people who are looking to get the job are not job ready, then that equals skill shortage. What do I mean by skill shortage? You don't qualify yet, you don't fit into the you know, competence level that they need. Why is it important for them to get somebody that fits into the competence level while also going to get there? But I'd like to ask a question, and I would really like you to respond to me sincerely. At the end of the day, I want this conversation to be a very honest one, because I believe that when we have honest conversations, we're always very closer to solving a major problem, right? So I don't want it to be what Omawumi said, what the report said. The report was carried out based on some survey, right? And this was the result. Now, and that's from the gatekeeper's point of view. Now, and then the gatekeeper is also saying that the reason why a lot of candidates today, right, according to everybody that also gave me a thumbs up on this call, the reason why everybody who gave me a thumbs up on this call is still job hunting in this tech career path, according to the gatekeepers, is because the job opportunities are there, but they don't have the job readiness yet. So that equals skill shortage in the job market. The entire job market has skill shortage. It is filled with a lot of people with certificate, but no actual job readiness, proof of work, or skill sets, like the needed skill. So I would like to ask a question, and I would love you to respond to it. You've taken a tech course, you responded when I asked. You all gave me a thumbs up. Like I said, that question, I had a reason for asking. You gave me a thumbs up, you've taken the course. Then I said, if you've not gotten a job, please give me a thumbs up. You all gave me a thumbs up again. So, have you worked on a project ever since you took the course, beyond the certificate you got, beyond the capstone project, for some trainings, right? It comes with you working on capstone project, like case studies, just so that, okay, you can finish the program strong. I know that there are some programs that don't necessarily have that, but for programs that have it, so maybe that's the type you took, or maybe not. It doesn't matter, right? But I just want you to respond sincerely. Have you worked on projects? Have you solved any real business problems in the career path of this, the listed tech fields that I showed us? Have you worked on projects sincerely now? If your Lua says yes, she has worked on projects, I'd like to get more response. Okay, Fadipe says he has worked on projects. Okay, please, I'd love to get more response. Mark, not Mark. Mark says no. Eniola says yes. Mercy says yes. Olanriwaju says no. Millicent says yes. Okay, please keep it coming. I'd really love to get your response, right? We're still going to get somewhere with the responses that I'm receiving. So, and now again, I asked the question and I said that not if you've taken the course now, you've worked on project after taking the course. I hope you're not just referring to capstone project, because I'll go on to explain what I mean, right? So when you have knowledge, but you've not applied the knowledge in solving real business problems, it is also you being unemployable. Now, projects are different from projects. Excuse me, please. I have a very terrible call. Okay, Omami says, we have courage. Yes, any other? No. Okay, now. Thank you very much for that context, Omami. I was going to get, to breaking it down. Solving real business problems. The one that makes sense to recruiters, the one that makes you look employable, is when it is an actual business problem, not simulation. Not simulation. Remember, we're talking about standing out in the job market. Everybody said something when I asked the question. Everybody said the job market is saturated, meaning we have a lot of qualified candidates that are way more available than the actual jobs in the market. But then from the report, we can see that it doesn't look like we're close to the fact. According to the gatekeepers, they said that there are no qualified candidates out there, skill-wise, right? Not certificate-wise, not course-wise, skill-wise. And for you to be qualified means competence. It means you've applied the knowledge gained in solving business problems. Simulation is not a business problem. Thank you, Abimbola. Simulation is not business problem. It is not you working in an actual team. I promise you there is a lot that you would learn and figure out when you work on an actual business problem with an actual team, using an actual workflow. Simulation means working on the project in isolation. They've created a scenario, they put it out there for you, and then you're following that scenario to solve that problem alone. There is no cross-functional interaction. That's not strong enough. That's not good enough. And again, tying it back to what the employer said, there are not enough qualified candidates out there, meaning, okay, sorry, I'm back. The cough is so bad, I'm tearing up whenever I cough. Okay, so as I was saying, so the job market is not saturated. It is actually the skill set that is not readily available, right? Please, let me take water, please. Okay, so I'm back. Thank you for your patience once again. So, like I said earlier, right, it's not a case of the job market being saturated, but the skills not available. Now, when you say that you've taken you've worked on projects, right, it goes beyond simulation. It goes beyond simulation. The job market is filled with a lot of people. In your case now, saturated. Now, only limited of this number of many people that are out there looking for a job are qualified. So if what you've done is working on project simulations on platforms like Courage, like Naomi mentioned, or other, simulated project platforms, then you're pretty much doing what majority is doing. Because the job market favors those who have actually solved real business problems. That's what recruiters want. We would also get to that as we proceed. So the tech skills shortage um, is expected to impact it's expected to impact 9 out of 10 organizations by next year, with a cost of 5.5 trillion in dollars, by the way, in delays, quality issues, and revenue loss. When we talk about this, most times I feel like it sounds like words, but it actually means a lot business wise. It means when you don't have competent team members, it means revenue loss, you not growing at the rate or scale that you should be growing, and you not, attaining any form of digital transformation because of the quality of people you have on your team, right? You're not having quality products out there either. So when employers prioritize skill sets that is proven, it's because they want to be able to say that my team is so strong that we have quality products, we don't encounter delays, our operation is so optimized because of the quality of people that we have. We don't always have we don't repeatedly solve the same problem over and over because we have proactive people, we have thinkers, problem solvers that just know how to fix or even anticipate problems. So you can only be this type of person for a business if you have experience, and that experience would already let you know because you recognize something from previous experience. You'd already know that okay, from this signal, this is going to happen. We need to sort it like this first. We need to fix it like that. That's you being proactive. Recruiters need people that are proactive, and for you to be able to communicate that you will be that person, you just have to tell them that you've worked before. Again, simulation does not pass, right? Case studies does not pass. You need to solve actual business problems. Now, according to Gina Smith, right, the research director for IDC, again, I have their report attached to this particular slide. So if you'd love to get this slide and the report that I have attached, because it's a lot, how many can I really talk about here, right? So if you'd love to have access, please feel free to fill the form that my colleague is dropping, that's the attendance form, and we would share the slide with you. Now, according to Gina, she says getting the right people with the right skills into the right roles has never been so difficult as tech skills shortages widen and the arrival of new technology accelerates. Enterprises must find creative ways to hire, train, upskill, and reskill their employees. A culture of learning is the single best way to get there. Now, speaking of continuous acceleration of technology, and the fact that there is one new tool that you need to learn tomorrow, there is one new technology that you need to be abreast of tomorrow, you need to also make sure that you're that person that before you even get in, you have proof, right? So why do companies prioritize this? Why is Gina creating a report that talks about the fact that it is very difficult to fill roles because of the obvious fact that I mentioned? Again, lack of competence or skills, right? So the reason why this is important is because of reduced technical depth. Now, when I say technical depth, what I'm referring to here is the fact that organizations, right, companies are trying to be, they are trying to have digital transformation, right? They're trying to be innovative. Now, if you don't have competent tech teams, well, I was discussing with somebody 2 days ago, 2 days ago, and the conversation was centered around data analyst roles. This person was concerned that, okay, is AI going to take the job of a data analyst and everything like that? And I said, first things first, a lot of companies currently are not even data driven yet, right? The more they grow, the more they get better and learn, they realize that there is a need for the role of a data analyst. While AI can actually, be used to automate some aspect of you being a data analyst, there is still the human factor, right? There's still the storytelling aspect. There's still the proactive aspect. Before you use AI, you need to prompt it to do something. At least for now, we know that it's not so advanced to the point where it's already acting like human. It's already thinking, being proactive and everything. Right now, I see AI as something you need to nudge. So you nudging AI means you are the person thinking. You're just nudging AI to maybe help you automate one thing or the other. Yes, I know there are different ways that people use AI, right? But the reason why I'm talking about this is because organizations want to advance. They also want to be tech savvy. They want to adopt the latest technology and everything like that. So in order to reduce their technical debt, they need skilled employees in tech. So if I'm hiring a data analyst, I might not be a data analyst. I have a company and I decide to hire a data analyst. Get in mind that me not being a data analyst means I would need you to know your onions. I would need you to be skilled because I cannot micromanage you on something I don't know. I cannot train you on the job on something I don't know, right? So the reason why these recruiters prioritize people with skills is because you're meant to come in and save the day in that domain, in that capacity, right? So if you need help understanding how to save the day or where to look or how to go about it because you've only taken a course, then the recruiter cannot help you because they can also obviously see that you cannot help the organization. You still need a lot of figuring out to do. Now, there is also the part of modernized IT operations. Like I said earlier, a lot of organizations are trying to adopt the latest technology, right? This makes them work smarter. This makes them a future forward or future thinking organization, right? So if they're looking to have modernized IT operations, I promise you, they are looking for sophisticated professionals that can get the job done. I have a startup. I want to hire a cybersecurity person. I did introduce myself at the start of this conversation as a cybersecurity person, right? So if that's the case, I will not go for a professional that is not well skilled and experienced in that space because I cannot do your job for you. And if it's a startup, that means maybe I can only afford one cybersecurity person. And because of that, I would go with somebody that would not put my platform at risk. If you say you're coming to protect my system, I can now trust that yes, you're really coming in to protect it. There will be no mistakes, and if there are going to be any mistakes, it's limited because you can easily already anticipate because of past experience. You would recognize the signals and you'll be able to identify it and immediately prefer solution. That's what makes you a proactive person, somebody that solves problems and all that. And then there is also the fact that you get to drive digital transformation and the improved product reliability. If you're a software developer, for example, and you're hired to come build a platform, if you're just learning, I promise you, first things first, you guys cannot launch on time. A product that an experienced developer would launch in 3 months or 2 months, somebody who is learning on the job will take 6 months. I remember during my IT, we built a platform for like 6 months, and honestly, it was filled with so many bugs. It was filled with so many bugs, and it kept crashing. Of course, that's because we were learning, right? It kept crashing. And thank God they gave us just a practice project to build. Yes, it was based off of a real client's project at that period, but they didn't give us the actual product that they were going to give to the client. They just said we should mirror what they were doing. So this is what this client wants us to do. So we were mirroring it to read the intent. That was an opportunity for us to learn, right? But I promise you, that system crashed a couple of times, multiple times, kept crashing. That's because you can't rely on something that an intern has built. They are still learning on the job, right? So organizations that are already established don't necessarily, or even startups, let's even speak about startups. I want to launch a product in 3 months' time because maybe I need an MVP to get funding, and then I hire a developer that is still learning. I promise you, we can't make that deadline. And even if we make that deadline, there will be a lot of work. It's just normal because that person is still learning on the job. So you want a product that is improved and reliable. That's why they go for skilled professionals. And then strengthen security posture as well as accelerate innovation and reduce operational costs. Like I hinted earlier, one of the major things that what's it called, experienced professionals can give you is reducing your operational cost because they are solving problems like forward thinking professionals, right? They don't have to repeatedly solve the same problem. Oh, it was working before, it stopped working again. Oh, it was working before, it stopped working again. Right. So let's take a look at things from the candidate's point of view and the recruiter's point of view. So when you say A, what is the recruiter saying? And when you say B, what is the recruiter saying? Can we move to the next slide? So when you say I can't find a job, that's your point of view as the job seeker. And then the employer say, I can't find someone who can actually do the job. Like I said earlier, nobody's lying. The recruiter saying, I can't find somebody who can actually do the job is because they can't find somebody to fill it. They have the expectation. They've not seen somebody for that. When you say, I can't find a job, you're not lying either, right? So the market is saturated, like everybody on this call said. And that was what I said. The POV for you is there. That's what the recruiter is there. So how do you match that expectation of the recruiter? That's what this conversation is all about. So when you say that the market is saturated, the recruiter is saying that the skills are scarce. Like I said earlier, it's a mismatch of expectations, right? When you say someone hire me, please, they are saying someone competent, please. Like we need somebody competent. When you say I have potential, just give me a chance. The recruiter is saying we need proof, not potential, because it reduces risk. You giving them proof of what you've done before is a way of showing that you can do it again, right? You've done it in a familiar environment. It doesn't have to be the same industry, but you worked in this domain, right? You worked in this country. You solved this problem for this business. That's why I said simulation is not the best way. Just a minute. Okay. Apologies once again. So, like I said, when you say there are no jobs, they are saying there are no skills. So it's a mismatch on both ends. Nobody is wrong, like I said again. So we don't have shortage of jobs. I just want us to agree on something, and I would also like you to react as we proceed, right? Please move on to the next slide. So we don't have shortage of jobs, right? What we have is shortage of job-ready professionals. Like I said, simulation is not how you get the job. So I want you to agree. I want you to let me know if you agree with this statement or not. We don't have shortage of, honestly, just let me know if you agree or not. We don't have shortage of jobs. We have shortage of job-ready talent. Employers are hiring, applicants are applying, but no one is meeting at the middle, right? Nobody's meeting at the middle because what you are picturing is different. What they are expecting is different. Thank you, mommy. Thank you, Ife. The real gap is not opportunity, it's competence. And then the market is not broken, the preparation is. Please, I would like to get more reactions. Only 2 people have reacted so far. I want to know if you agree or disagree. Can you give me a thumbs down if you don't agree? You can give me a thumbs down. Thank you, Millicent. But if you agree, like Millicent, Ife, and Omomi, please give me a thumbs up. Thank you, Zelia. Now, here's one of the people that worked with us at Andari under the internship program. Now, we don't do simulation. We give you real business problems to solve, right? Our projects are built from real business challenges. All the projects you work on at Andari, they're from real business challenges, no simulation. You will work with actual people, not you working alone, not you checking out projects on websites alone and then it's just, okay, so yes, this is the scenario, solve this problem, you're done, you submit it. No, you have actual stand-up meetings that happen in real tech teams. You have teams, right? You have team lead. Your team lead is not an intern. Your team lead is somebody with 5-10 years experience. Please go back to that testimonial. Somebody with 5-10 years experience working in the space, in the field, right? So these are the category of people that you work with. So you are not at any point working alone. In fact, you will get to work on cross-functional projects in the course of your internship. Thank you, Apia. Now, here's one of the people that trusted Amdari and started this internship program with us. Like I said, not basic or random case study project, but you solving real business problems with teams, with people. Now, he landed a job in tech by having proof that beats UK recruiters doubt. And he sent this message to his team lead, Emeka. So Jerry used to be one of our data analytics interns. I think he offboarded last month. By offboarding, I mean he's done with his internship. But he got a job 2 months into the program. And that internship is 4 months. He got a job 2 months into the program. And then he sent this message to his team lead and he says, "Hi, Emeka, just wanted to officially let you know that I have landed a data analyst role within the civil service. And it's a level promotion too. I was asked to prepare a presentation on any data analysis project. I edited and submitted our first project. Saved me a lot of time and gave me confidence. I also spoke about the SQL project when they asked about data acquisition. Thank you so much for your mentorship, Emeka. Take your flowers, Apek." Now, one thing I love to talk about in this regard is the fact that he said the first project he worked on at Amdari is what helped him get the job. Not the second project, not the third project. He submitted this project at the point of technical assessment. Now, Amdari internship really, really positions you and helps you to stand out. Because beyond everything else, beyond case studies, you want to show that you've solved real business problems. And I would like us to quickly listen to Jerry. I'd like us to quickly listen to Jerry so that we can see and hear how he got the job. So please click on this click here button so we can quickly listen to Jerry. Okay, so there is no sound yet. Stop sharing and reshare. Okay, you're not sharing
All right.
yet.
So congratulations once again, Jerry, on landing the data analyst role in the UK.
Thank you, Mom.
So it doesn't.
Okay.
So yeah, so before Amdari, right, I'd like to know, because this is like something that most newbies in tech, people transitioning into tech face, right? It's a very familiar challenge, which is the struggle of,
Told me that he has never seen anybody as passionate as I was when it comes to data, because I spoke at length. Of course, that is going from knowing the basics when it comes to using tools, Excel, and then to going to the advanced. Of course, when it comes to Excel, advanced, Power BI, advanced. So I would say all these things, of course, that they were the things that actually made me, of course, that to be job ready. Yes, and thanks, Amdari, really. Yeah.
So I'd love to know, and thanks for giving Amdari a chance. Okay, so my last question is going to be about the specific aspect of this experience that helped you ace your interview, right? I know you've spoken about projects, you've spoken about all of that. We have the mentorship side of things. We have pretty much a couple of things. So what would you say exactly? I know you also mentioned how you had stories to tell, right? So what would you say helped you ace your interview?
Okay. I would say that as I'm Dari, so I've developed a couple of soft skills and also technical skills, and these are things that have helped me to ace my interview. And then, of course, I'll start with the soft skills. So I after every project, and this is one thing that I loved about Amdari, after every project, you present to real stakeholders. I mean, of course, before that, you have to come up with a PowerPoint presentation where you have your, of course, I was like, you have done your project end to end, data cleaning, data visualization, and all of that. And then you have your insights ready, prepared for the stakeholders. So, and then that rigorous process of, because there have been instances where I was sent a data before interview to analyze. And of course, and then I just went through the process that I always go through, like under data cleaning, and then data, exploration, analysis, visualizing your data, and then preparing your PowerPoint presentation. And this is what we do after each project in Andari. So, and another thing I've also developed in Andari was the aspect of communication. Yeah. So, and it's not just about generating insights. How do you communicate to stakeholders, recognizing your audience? And these are questions that I ask. For example, how do you communicate insight to technical stakeholders, not technical stakeholders? And these are things that I've been able to develop when it comes to, as like projects in Amdari and all of that. And also getting feedback. I can remember one of the questions they asked me that how have you managed feedback from stakeholders? And interestingly, I just presented a project, like I think my first project at Amdari, and then of course I presented my project, and then I asked some feedback from stakeholders, and I can remember that one of the feedbacks was to work on my recommendation. It should be smart and all of that. So I was able to just come up with, yes, I remember presenting a project, and then the stakeholder said this, said that, said this. So these were things that having feedbacks and all of that. So I would say that also was a key thing. So when it comes to soft skills, and also when it comes to the technical skill itself. My Excel has gone up like this. I like even my Power BI skills and all of that. So and then I remember like there was I actually go to jobs. Yeah. So even though I only did.
Okay, thank you very much. So let's come back to the discussion. I wanted us to hear from Jerry so that you hear exactly how this internship at Amdari is different from a simulation, right? It's the type of experience that recruiters need, the type that makes you look like somebody that is, skilled and job ready. Because from everything Jerry said, the fact that you present your project to stakeholders, the fact that there is actual interaction with people, stakeholders, team leads, teammates, right? Not just, again, simulation. So we'll proceed now. Now, it is safe to say that the market isn't broken for the matchmaking case, because like I said, it's a case of this is what I think the problem is, and then gatekeeper saying this is what the problem is. I would say, because they hold 4 ACs, so they most likely are closest to the fact. They're the ones that would decide whether you get the job or not. So if they are saying this, how do you make yourself that person that fits into the expectation, right? Or even excels beyond that, right? So how do you make yourself that professional that properly fits into that? Before we get into it, let's take a look at areas where there are most skill gaps, right? The areas that is most evident in terms of the skill gaps available. Now we have areas like AI and machine learning, right? This falls under the data science field. We have, and I have the report here also, just in case you want to go check it out again. It is by Robert Half, and it's a report that is also very, very robust, like in-depth. And I'd really like you to have a look. Again, please fill the attendance form if you would love to have access to everything, every report that I have attached here. I have from IDC, I have from BLS, I have from Indeed, I have from Robert Half, and also CompTIA. So the first one, the first area of skill gap is in the AI and the machine learning space. Of course, data science in general. We're not saying there are no skilled data scientists there, but there are still gaps. The jobs available is way more than the skills available. Then the IT operations and support. These are career paths. For IT operations and support, you might be wondering, okay, what tech career path does it fall under? It's most likely, it's typically business analysis, project management as well. They fall under this area, right? And then we have cybersecurity and privacy. This already is direct. And then we have cloud architecture and operations. Data engineers typically fall under this career path. And we have the technology process automation. The business analysts also fall under this career path. So again, when I asked the question earlier, it is to know the people that already have taken a course in the career path that has skill shortage, career path that is in high demand, and that is projected to grow in the next 10 years by the percentage I showed us. Please. So the devil is a liar. This cough is like a weapon passion against me. So actually, I'm just recuperating from sickness. So it's still telling on me. I really thought it wasn't going to tell, but it's still telling. So apologies for the break in transmission every time I need to call. So these are the career paths. And like I said, this screenshot is gotten from the report by Robert Hart. I would really love for you to have access so that you can check it out. Because there are a lot of other things there that would be very relevant to you as it relates to the projection for next year and the years to come. Because at the end of the day, the goal is for you to get a job, right? So if these are the areas that are, have skill shortage and you've taken a course there, what exactly? Okay, I'll come to that shortly. Do you have any advice? Okay, the first thing is, have you taken a course in that career path? Because business intelligence analyst, it's a career path that falls under data analytics, right? And one thing I always tell people is, this career path, sometimes it's a typical case of how a company decides to name the available job opening, right? So my company can choose to call it business intelligence analyst. Another company can choose to call it data analyst, right? Another company can choose to call it marketing and sales analyst, right? So it's a naming thing that is dependent on a company. And then most times, because of the type of data that you will be analyzing and interacting with, right? So it always informs the job title. So in this case now, it's also the same thing. It falls under data analytics. I know most times people feel like, oh, it falls under business analysis. No, it falls majorly under data analytics. So data analytics is like the general umbrella where you can still be a product analyst, you can still be a sales analyst, you can still be a supply chain analyst and the likes, right? So that's exactly how that works. But just to see, because I see what you typed, right, Danny. So you need to take a course for you to even say that you want to start applying to, the knowledge to solving problems and then applying to jobs, right? So another report from Indeed's recent research has echoed the same sentiment, right? With 45% of managers reporting a lack of skilled applicants as their main hiring challenge. So the same way you are struggling with getting a job is the same way these people are struggling. Recruiters are struggling with filling open roles. Everybody's struggling. It's just the end of the stuff that faces everybody that is different, but everybody's struggling. Oh, I can't find qualified candidates. Oh, I can't find a job. Right? So skill first strategy can help bridge this gap. So if you have the needed competence level and the proof that yes, I really, really have done this, just like Jerry said, and you can see all of the things that Jerry was referencing when they asked for something, he had proof to back it up from the internship he did at Sandari. Right? So for us to move from that point where it's harder than ever to say you're filling roles, you're getting candidates, we need to be professionals that are competent as well, right? So these are just more reports. Honestly, I just want you to have access to different podcasts. Again, this session is about podcasts, right? So I just want you to have enough access to resources that would really help you understand why this is important. So the 2026 tech market or the tech job market will be kind to only people that are prepared, only people that are value creators, only people that are specialized. You have your niche, you've taken a course in data science, data analytics, you want to be an AI machine learning engineer and the like. You picked your field and you solved problems. You don't need to do it for years. I got my first job in tech just 4 months into my internship. Honestly, just 4 months into my internship. When people say that, oh, is it possible? Yes, it's possible. Our interns have landed jobs 2 months in. I promise you, somebody even shared with us 1 month in. And when people when I tell people this, one thing they ask me is, or maybe they have previous tech experience, maybe they've worked before. Honestly, that's not the case, and I'll show you one as we proceed. Right. So it is very important for us to know what exactly we need to, the point we need to get to come 2026 and beyond to be that professional. Like I said, it is not going to favor the unprepared. It is only going to favor those that come prepared and you are a value creator. You prioritize this more than anything. So if you want to survive and thrive next year and beyond, don't just learn. Please don't just take courses. What about agile project management? Yes, so I highlighted that earlier also. It is, in fact, when you take a look at this report, you will see all of it. And I still have another snippet from another report, and you'll see project management right there. Yeah, you put in Scrum. I like the fact that you did that because, like I said, different companies with the different ways that they choose to name available roles. So we have companies that would, just name that project management role, IT project manager, web project manager, or they proceed to naming it, what's it called? Program scheduler. So it depends on what they're trying to do exactly at that point. But yes, it's also one of those career paths. And another question in the chat: how can I start my internship with Amdari? Salman, we would get there in about few minutes. I'll get there in about few minutes. Yes, I see your question. Okay, I didn't know you typed it. We'll get there in about few minutes. All right. So, like I said, for you to survive and thrive in the job market, you need to do more than learning. Learning is the first step. You need to build, you need to deliver, you need to stand out, and then you can now ask for job and maybe even sponsorship. But please, first things first, do not skip the stage where you build and create proof of work that you have done. Right? So it is very important. Now, moving on to Matthew, your message is going to come in the first week of December. Your cohort is starting on the 6th. So emails will start going out this week, right? This week, you start receiving emails. So it's going to contain your internship confirmation letter, your job description, link to your team's WhatsApp group, right? And also link to your first onboarding meeting, right? So bear in mind that you're receiving your email. So we typically send email the first week of onboarding. So before your onboarding, which is going to be on Saturday, you receive email. Monday is in 2 days' time, so you most likely will receive your email by then. Latest Tuesday, but emails start going out from this week. Please confirm you got that, Matthew. So don't worry. I mean, your payment was confirmed, right? So definitely your onboarding is happening this week. Your onboarding is happening this week. And everything you receive, it's the onboarding day that you also get to meet with your team lead. That's the person you're working with for the next 4 months. And then your teammates. It's during that onboarding meeting. So a lot of questions in the chat. So please, I'll come back to your question, Selman. And I'll come back to the question real quick. Now, there is something I also need to mention. Most times we settle, we relax the minute we get a job. Please move on to the next slide. We settle and we relax the minute we get a job. It begins to make us look, I don't want to say redundant now, but it feels like we're not advancing. But there is a fun fact, a major fact, and that is the fact that tech has something called half-life. You might not know this, or you might know it, right? Sometimes you've been working in the tech space for a while, and somehow you just realize that there is a need for you to upskill, right? It is because technology has something called half-life of skills, right? Half-life of skills, and it is typically around that 2.5 years, right? And it's something that Harvard Business Review has put out there. Now, to access this particular report, one needs to be subscribed, right? So that's why I couldn't, put the link for you here. Now, this particular report, but it's still very much available online, says that for you to now stay relevant, in addition to the fact that you're going the route of skill-first hiring, for recruiters now, organizations will continue to prioritize upskilling, reskilling, and upskilling to bridge skill gaps. If they keep upskilling, reskilling, do you now see the reason why some job postings are not out there? That's because sometimes they advance their team members to the next level because this person has gone ahead to reskill. So when somebody says something like, oh, Omomi, there are not enough business analysts role out there. I promise you, it's because some project managers have gone ahead to do more than just being project managers. Company has recognized that this person can mix the two, or we can promote this person to that level. That's why you can't compare the number of jobs you see of business analyst roles in with the project management roles. It is easy to climb the ladder and become a BA from project management. Very easy. So most times they are not necessarily hiring for those roles. They are filling it. So if they are using this route to fill it, because yes, they've worked with these people, there is proof of value that this person is delivering to the company, right? And they are moving this person up the ladder. What do you think happens to the people who are in the job market, right? So, and most times some organizations don't even necessarily set out to go this route, but because there are not enough talent out there, they decided to get creative, right? They decided to get creative. Just okay, so I am back. Once again, apologies for that. So, like I said, right, companies are getting creative with how they hire. So, if they are getting creative, moving certain people from within their company to certain roles or opening roles only to limited people who qualify, how can you be that person who gets the job? So let's take a look at the hiring plans for 2026, right? The reason why you might still struggle to get a job, except of course you take the needed action. Like I said, all of the actions are proven. They're actions that can work for you because despite all of the things said and done, a lot of Amdari interns still landed jobs this year. So based off of the fact that technology leaders said, oh, they're increasing their use of contract talent in the second half of this year, even up until next year, right? It is, I would like us to know why exactly they are going this route, specifically because of everything I have said. If I cannot find somebody to fill the role for me, I would go the route of getting contract people. Now, this played out in a company I worked. I mentioned earlier that I got my first job in tech just 4 months into my internship. The internship was 6 months. It was an unpaid internship. So I interned with them 4 months in. I got creative with how I applied to jobs. I got creative. And what did I do? I sent a DM to a recruiter, a founder, rather. They didn't post that they were hiring or anything like that. I just asked myself, what's the worst that can happen? He doesn't respond or they don't have opening. But I was going to take that chance. I have worked on projects. I was confident. Now, all thanks to the fact that I knew what I had done. So I checked my page. Like I said, the worst that can happen is he doesn't respond. But I didn't want him not to respond. So I checked my Instagram, I checked my LinkedIn. Do I look like somebody that this person would respond to? The answer was no. So I had to quickly revamp my page. And I had things on my page that would, get somebody to see me as, okay, she has things figured out. Oh, she's already working in tech. What did I post? Me speaking at a tech meetup, me at a Kotlin meetup. So one was me speaking. I am so sorry, please.
The cough is getting so bad. I'll be very fast with the presentation. So as I was saying, right? Oh my God. Okay, so I am back. So as I was saying, one of the major reasons is because of, access to specialized skills. Now, an organization that hired me first, like I said earlier, I shoot my shot, sent him a DM after revamping my page, and he went ahead to respond, thankfully. Now, long story short, I got the job in less than 24 hours. That's because I had proof of work. I sent him my GitHub page, right? I sent him some projects I had worked on. I'll show us a screenshot of that as I proceed. But I just wanted us to, have an idea. Now, the second one, that's me getting creative first on how I get the job. Now, the second one was majorly the recruiters getting creative. There is something called the hidden job market. That's where there are openings, there are jobs available, but they are not putting it out there. So how do you stand out and make yourself that candidate that gets the job, right? One of our interns, this has worked for them, and I would play her video shortly. So one major thing that happened in this case is the fact that this lady, just a minute, the fact that this lady went ahead and she was positioning as a problem solver on LinkedIn, right? Now, in my case, the recruiter sent me a DM. I have a screenshot to that, and I'll show us as I proceed, like I said earlier. So the recruiter sent me a DM. When they sent me a DM, I responded. In fact, I'm sharing this story quite early because I still have a slide where I show you the type of DM they sent me. When I got into the organization, because I got the job, right? So when I got into the organization, that's when I realized that they had been trying to hire for the past 7 months, right? They had been trying to hire for the past 7 months. Now, guess what they did? What they did exactly was to proceed to using a contract person for that 7 months until they found the right candidate. Again, they found me on LinkedIn. I didn't know a company was hiring. I never knew they existed. They sent me a DM and I got the job. I resumed 2 weeks later. Now, like I said, when I got in, I realized that they had a contract person. So the minute I got in, she handed over to me and she was done. I got the job. It was the role of a web project manager. So companies have been doing that and they're still planning on continuing. So when they can't find the perfect fit, they proceed to doing it that way while they take their time. Because now we might be wondering, oh, okay, so if the case is they don't have anybody, they are not feeling, I promise you what they are doing is going the route of contract staff. I've had this experience firsthand because I got a job that was still working with for a role that had a contract person, right? So it also makes it very, very easy for them to scale. And, time is money. Time is money. They don't have that time to say, oh, okay, we're waiting until what happens to what's not going to get done because nobody is available to fill this role. But I promise you, as long as you're willing and ready to be that candidate, they are definitely going to still spot and find you. Just the same way they found me 7 months later, right? So in 2026, the market is going to favor the skilled and the most creative job seeker. You can move to the next slide. The most creative job seeker being you, either shooting your shots, sending a direct DM, right? That's you being creative. Now you can only develop, that confidence and audacity to reach out that way when you also have proof of work done. Because I believe that you shooting your shot is not to get ghosted again, not to get ignored again. It is to get an actual response. So if the goal is to get an actual response, I want to believe that you would position yourself, and please give me a thumbs up if you agree. I want to believe that you would position yourself in a situation, and thank you, Stephen and Mark, in a position where you can reach out and get a
get a response, whether by email, whether by what Instagram or LinkedIn. In my case, when I shoot my shot, I did it via LinkedIn and Instagram. I didn't know where he was going to respond first. I just took my chances. I promise you, he never responded on LinkedIn. He only responded on Instagram, right? So maybe he later saw it, and I mean, I already got the job. There was no need to respond on LinkedIn, I think. Okay. Thank you so much for your patience, everyone. I always have to drink water just to calm my throat down. I promise you, my session is not typically like this. I'm just recreating. So, like I said, the market is going to favor the creative job seekers and the skilled job seekers. So, please, sometimes the best way to get a job is not to wait for when you see something on the job board. Sometimes you need to apply by sending a DM, right? I have another report here that you can check out much later. But please don't forget to fill this attendance form. Now, let's move on. I mentioned earlier that I got a DM on LinkedIn from recruiters, right? And this is far back as 2026. If you take a look at the first one on your screen, it is July. The second one is January. Now, the first one says that, hello, Victoria. My name is XYZ. I lead the technology team at XYZ company. We're currently looking to hire a product manager, and your profile caught my interest. Is this something you would be interested in? If yes, I would love to have a conversation with you. If no, please, perhaps I could get a great recommendation. And then I respond, hi, thank you for reaching out. This is definitely something I'm interested in. The second one says, hi, we're looking for a professional, highly motivated, detail-oriented web project manager, yada, yada, yada. Now, the second one came in January, and this first screenshot came in July. I took the first one that came in January because, of course, it came in first. Now, when I spoke to the one that came in July, I realized that it was the same job title, the same job description, just different job titles based off of what I said earlier. Companies with how they choose to name open roles, right? Olumide Sumaya says that she's unable to click. So Sumaya, he's going to, I think it's a Google thing, Google Meet thing. It's just something that recently started happening. People struggle to click the link, right? So my colleague will help you address that, by the way. So I didn't take the second job because I was just 6 months in and realizing that it was the same job description. So I just, stuck to my first job. So can you see how recruiters are getting creative in how they fill the role? For recruiters to start headhunting, you know that you don't read, right? They've searched, they've put out vacancy, and this is the company I was referring to that was working. That's the second one. The one that I said they had been looking to fill that role for 7 months. When I got into the company was when, going down the page and everything, I saw that 7 months ago, they posted for the first time the flyer, and they kept doing that every month. So you can see that at the end of the day, they had to resort to sending DMs, right? So it is very important for you to know that while they are getting creative, you are well positioned also. Now, there is somebody I would like us to quickly listen to for like 2 minutes. Her name is Anita. She's one of our interns at Amdari. One thing she mentioned is the fact that she got the job via LinkedIn also, right? She got the job. Please click the video for Anita. Let's listen to Anita's testimonial. So she got the job via LinkedIn also. And she would explain how the internship at Amdari really, really helped her to stand out and get the job. So can you play the video? You're not sharing that screen, by the way. If you're already playing, you're not sharing that screen. Okay. So we'll just listen to her for 2 minutes, just 2 minutes. Okay, there is no sound yet. We can't, it's not playing yet. Okay, it's coming up. You can play it. Just click on play, because I think
Apologies, the
so. We'll
network
just
issue.
listen to our two.
So, I mean, you got a job offer just a few months, I think about 2 months into the program. So, how does that feel? You got a business analyst role. So, how does that feel?
Yeah, feels feels exciting. Yeah, feels exciting.
Yeah. Amazing. That's actually great to know. So, what specific skills or experience?
Please confirm you can hear the voice, the sound.
Yes, we can. We can. But
But
you
this
paused
Amdari
it.
program, would you really say gave you that confidence to ace your interview?
So I would say being in the shoes of a consultant actually helped because you're solving business cases, you're preparing the documentation. So having deeper experiences or having first-hand deeper experiences into creating all the business requirement documentations, using all of those tools, going deeper into business analysis itself was a good one for me. So it just helped prepare me for whatever interview was coming.
Awesome. So, what would you say the reaction of the recruiters was like during the interview process? You ended up landing in senior business analyst role, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what was the reaction like when they saw the quality of the project, or even from you talking about the projects you worked on? What was their reaction like
Yeah.
as a result of
I,
what you built, the experience you gained, and what you could do?
I could only see a reaction of, okay, this is the girl we are looking for. This is the person we want to work with, right? And that was because having had experience working with those processes as a consultant in Amdari, I was able to defend those projects, talk about the project in depth. I was able to talk about the tools used in the project, cost of the project, benefits, which is everything you would learn and do as a consultant in Amdari. So the only reaction I got was, this is our girl, this is the person we want. Because even at the interview there, they already started asking me how long I needed to give notice in my current job, and then showing me and telling me about the office, what I should expect and all of that. So it was actually it was very encouraging having to know that, okay, you could do an interview, you could ace it very well, and then you get good feedback even while still doing
Okay.
the interview. Not like they'll tell
I
you,
Olumide, you can
we'll
stop the
reach back to you
recording
or
now.
get back to you in
You
three,
can pause
five
the
days and
video
you didn't
rather.
hear.
You can pause the video. Yeah. Thank you. So I wanted us to just hear from Anita and how the internship has, played its role, and she got the job also. So Worry Nation, I see your question. So business analysis and cloud engineering are two different fields, right? And for cloud engineering, especially you were specific AWS, it falls perfectly under data engineering. So you can easily intern as a data engineer at Algari, right? You can easily just transition into having that career path as a data engineer, because we don't have cloud engineering internship at Algari, but you do a lot of cloud engineering related problem solving projects. You handle a lot of things around that. So that's the best way to gain experience. Then business analysis, if you'd like to gain experience as that also, you can definitely do that at Amdari. So if you have any other question, you can type, because I know you said you need to drop off for work. So if you want any clarity, then you can also book a clarity session with us in case you still want to ask me questions within the week. My colleague will drop the link right now. So you can book that session and we will have a conversation. So I'm available 1 p.m. and then, 12 p.m. and my colleague is available 8 p.m. right? Every Mondays to Fridays. So yeah. So you can book that. My colleague will drop the link so you can quickly book that session and I'll take your questions. All right, awesome. So please Olumide, drop the link for him since he won't be able to stay till the very end. But yeah, so for every other person, we'll proceed. I'll take everybody's question as we proceed. So please feel free to have your questions written somewhere. Mommy, I'm getting to that definitely. Oh, okay. Okay, I'll get to that shortly. So this is also, I said earlier that I also got creative. Now, this was how I shoot my shot, but because of time, right, I would speed things up. So shooting your shot is also another super creative way to make sure that you stand a chance to get the job. Now, we've spoken about all of this. Now, let's talk about what makes you really get sponsorship, right? What the fastest way to say that you want to get sponsorship. Remember we said earlier, chase the job first. Chase the job first. Because the topic is talking about sponsorship does not mean that, oh, chasing sponsorship means applying to jobs and saying, oh, I need sponsorship, right? It is applying, getting your leg or your foot in the door, letting them see the value that you bring to the table, and you becoming a wise business decision for them. So for you to get the job faster, there are two things you need to have. Either proof of what you've done elsewhere, which is where Amdari internship is perfect, not simulation, like I said, or proof of what you've done within the organization. So like I said earlier, they would only give you the job when they can vouch for what you've done before. When they see that you've done it somewhere, you can do it here too. Or you are doing it within their organization. What this is telling them is you are already valuable. So you are worth backing. You are worth the money that they will spend to say that they want to sponsor you, right? That's the best way to describe this. So you need to have proof of what you've done elsewhere or proof of what you're doing currently. This is the best way to get fast, what's it called now? Fast sponsorship right now. Because if anybody would sponsor you, they need to have felt the pulse of how you work. So there's something I love to call the trust curve, and it's something that every immigrant must climb. Level 1 is where you show that you can do the task. Please go to the next slide. It's where you show that you can do the task. Level 2 is where you show that you can solve problems. Level 3 is when you answer the question, can you work in a structured team? Olumide, move to the next slide, please. It is where you show that you can work in a structured team. Have you worked in a structured team before? Remember I said simulation doesn't come with this. It doesn't come with this. Amdari internship gives you an actual team to work with, gives you a team lead to work with. Some projects needs you working cross-functionally, be a PM, product design, developer, or marketer, or data science, right? Or even cybersecurity. You get to work cross-functionally. Then, can we trust you with important work? For them to say they can trust you with important work, it means you handle something as important or as big as this. And then I use sponsorship word. You need to answer yes to all of these questions, but not you saying yes. It's you showing them with proof. So if they see that you can do the task, it's because you said you did it somewhere. There is also reference that can back you up and vouch for the fact that you've done it and you can still do it here. Now here's another of our interns that got a job. We won't be playing any video right now because of time. His name is Francis Apua. He got a product management job with Deloitte. I'm sure we all know that Deloitte is one of those companies out there that sponsors, right? So he was able to climb all stages of the trust curve and he secured a job with Deloitte just 3 months into his internship. Take a look at his LinkedIn. Right here it says he started his internship in March 2025 and he got the job in July. If you read the message that he shared with his team lead, now this is the conversation. My intern landed a PM job at Deloitte. You can see the reactions under that comment. And then he goes on to share their conversation. And he says, one day I just got a call from Deloitte that the interview was successful, starting onboarding in August. To God be the glory. And his team lead says, one day, this has made my week. Congratulations. One day, by the way, for the non-Igbo speaking people on the call means brother. This is showing you the rapport that you would have with team leads you'll be working with at Amdari. Most people would ask me questions like, oh, among me, after the internship, is that all? Even if I've not gotten the job, is that all? You build a rapport with the people you're working with your team lead especially. Then Amdari itself does not just drop you, right? After it. The job reference letter is available 2 years after your internship, not only when you are here with us. And we prepping you for interviews, which happens every Thursday throughout your internship, still can happen after your internship. Let's say you have an interview coming up, but you've been done with Amdari internship 6 months ago. Can you get an interview prep from Amdari? Yes. 0 cost, 0 fee, nothing. Our employability specialist is going to prep you for an interview, even though you were done with your internship months ago, right? So because people ask a lot, oh, what if I'm done with the internship and I've not gotten the job? Will I get this? Will I get that? Yes, you will. Now, speaking of quality of work and quality of project, I'd like to show us a very quick sample of one of the projects that our interns have worked on. Again, like I said, the quality of projects you work on has to stand out. It is not case study type project, right? So this project is a waste classification machine learning project that one of our interns worked on, right? So this project has them showing proof of impact and proof of work. So the project right here, you can see, it's a project that allows them to upload an image or take a photo with their device, and then they are able to classify that particular image. If it's a waste, if it's a plastic waste, metal waste, organic waste, right? Now, the back end of this project was built by the way, this project was built by our data science interns. I'll still show some projects that others have also worked on. So this particular one was built by data science team, right? And they use TensorFlow, Git, and Hugging Face. So everybody on this corner might be wondering, okay, Mommy, what if I have never used a tool before, because I'm just hearing TensorFlow for the first time. I'm just hearing Hugging Face for the first time. Never used it. And then you've taken a course, by the way, but you've never used it. It doesn't matter. You can still start this internship, because this internship is not for advanced people, right? The essence is for you to gain that experience and the knowledge that you don't have yet, but through solving real business problems, right? So this was built for one of our business partners, and this is a screenshot of that project itself. I think I have the link attached, but I'm not sure. So let's move on. So it's very important to work on quality projects that make you stand out. Now, here's another person that got a job in the program. All of this year, and like I said, yes, we're saying a lot. Oh, there are no jobs out there. There are no jobs out there. But I promise you, people are getting jobs regardless. Now, one thing that Sandra shared with us that I find very profound was the fact that she got a GRC role with a company that didn't even know that there was a role called GRC. Guess what? She got the role. They were hiring for a, I think it's still under compliance, right? But I can't remember the job title specifically, but it's a cybersecurity role. Please click next. There is still more on this slide. It's a cybersecurity role, but she applied regardless, right? During the conversation, the questions they were asking her led to her telling multiple stories. The multiple stories, the multiple things she was sharing led to them realizing that there is actually something called GRC, right? And then they were like, oh, okay, we would like you to bring this knowledge. I think this would be a great addition. Now, this thing that works for her worked for me also previously. That job where they reached out to me on LinkedIn and they said, oh, they wanted a detail-oriented project manager and all of that, web project manager. So I was already in, but the remaining 20% was for them to get to meet me and see if I'm really the type of person they wanted to work with. Guess what I discussed with them on the call? The fact that I was a web developer, I was bringing that knowledge. I will be able to work with our tech team better than anyone. So I am more of a technical project manager. And the fact, because the company was purely website development company. And then I also mentioned the fact that I'm still actively coding and still actively building websites. So it's something I can easily jump on with the team when we have a tight deadline and all. And to crown it all, I also mentioned that I was, very proficient with SEO. Remember, I introduced myself as a product marketer, right? So I was very proficient in SEO. I spoke about that also. All of this time together made me seem like a wise, option for them. Now, it was the same thing that played out in our case. She spoke about GRC and they were like, okay, there is more to this. We would definitely like to work with you, right? Just a minute. So they were like, yeah, we would definitely like to work with you. And that's how Sandra got the job. So our interns are considered steadily landing jobs in the UK. So why proof of work gets you sponsored is because you have to you have proof of work, you have proof that you delivered before, you have evidence that reflects on your portfolio, and the fact that you take initiative, right? Because anybody that has done it before would be somebody that typically has stories to tell. And when you have stories to tell, you can show them that you take initiative and you're a problem solver without saying this statement verbatim. Because it's not about going in for an interview and saying, oh, I'm a problem solver. Oh, I take initiative. No, there is so much more to this than saying that, oh, I'm a problem solver. Oh, I take initiative, right? You just give them an instance And that would automatically mean, okay, they are listening, but they're like, okay, this person is smart. Oh, okay, this person takes initiative. It's just from your story. And like I always love to say, every project you work on at Amdari is a story waiting to be told during your interview. You heard what worked out for Sandra, Anita, and also Jerry. So we can move on to the next slide. So you need to, flip the game. And that's why I love what everybody said earlier. Chase the job first, not the sponsorship, right? Because you need to be job ready before a recruiter will see you as somebody they want to sponsor. Because that proof of work is what removes doubt faster, right? Not the fact that, oh, I've taken a course, oh, I have certificates, or I have certification. It doesn't necessarily make you a professional in practice, especially certificates, right? It's just, okay, you've acquired knowledge. And we know that to get the job done, you need more than just showing that you have acquired knowledge. So instead of asking, oh, who is going to sponsor me? You need to flip it and make yourself that candidate. The companies would say that, okay, you want to sponsor this person. So make them need you, make them see you as valuable, right? Please let's move on. Make them see you as valuable. When you have all that proof, you are able to show that you are employable. Now, I have something else attached to this slide in my next slide, right? And it's a list of companies that are sponsoring in the UK. So if you'd love to have access to this list, it's over 100 plus companies in the UK that are sponsoring. If you'd love to have access to this, please let me know by filling the form. Like I said earlier, I am going to be sending this out. My colleague will send out this email, and everybody who is interested, just a minute, let me cut this call. Oh, okay. Everybody, oh my God, sorry, please. So everybody who is interested in getting the job can easily go through this list, and you will see exactly how you can also take advantage. So please, if you'd like to have access to this list of 133 plus companies, please feel free to fill the form. My colleague will drop it again in the chat. Okay, so moving on. So please don't forget to fill the form if you'd like to have access to this, all right? All right. So Amdari also has a job board. Now, this job board is accessible to our interns, right? So when I was speaking earlier, I think it was, I'm trying to get the name correctly. Okay, Matthew, right? Where he said, oh, he's still waiting and all of that. And I said, we're going to send out emails from Monday, which is going to be his onboarding email. Part of what will be sent in that email is a link to Amdari platform. Now, Amdari platform has a list of visa sponsorship jobs, tech visa sponsorship jobs across all of these career paths that I've been calling since I started my conversation. Now, this platform has other jobs also, not just visa sponsorship jobs, across the UK, US, and Canada. So every intern at Amdari has access to this 100%, including a couple of things like the Learn for people that took maybe a course 1 year ago, 6 months ago, and you'd like to have a fresher opportunity, right? So Grace says, can you please share link on WhatsApp for easy accessibility? Okay, it's going to share it there. So Olumide, please share it there while everybody's on this call so that they know that they can easily access it. Because it's more people right now. Millicent, Koya, Grace, everybody is yet to have access to fill the attendance form. So they are referring to attendance form, by the way, so please drop it there for them. All right. So these are the things that you have access to as an intern at Amdari. The Learn page is for you to take crash courses for free, right? Oh, I took a course 3 months ago, 6 months ago. They didn't show us how to use Tableau. They didn't show us how to use SQL. I never learned it. We give you access to it so you can take all those crash courses while your team lead also guides you and trains you on how to use these crash courses, right? On how to take the crash courses and use certain tools that you've never used before. Okay, so let's proceed. Now, more and more of our interns are getting jobs, so we will skip this because of time and so that I can take questions. But you can see that these are just more people that have gotten jobs in the program. Now, there is a session we typically have, and that's a session where we have mock interview with you. I'd like us to play this video for just 1 minute. 1 minute, I promise you, just 1 minute. It's like a role play, right? Like a mock interview where Dari's employability team interviews an intern that has volunteered to be interviewed. We interview you and then we give you feedback. Now, this conversation typically has over
to
100 plus.
improve in that sense.
Just pause it. Thank you. So it typically has over 100 interns on the call. On this particular day, this was 2 weeks ago, it had over 181 interns on the call. So everybody you see here, they are interns and then some of our employability team members. So this is Santiago, one of our interns under data engineering, and then this is Chichi, one of our data engineering team leads. So Santiago is being mock interviewed, and let's just take a look at how he's responding to the interview question. So please we'll just listen for like 1 minute ish. So immediately please proceed.
Try to improve in that sense.
All right. Thank you.
Okay.
My final question is: have you used Power Query before?
Power Query, yes, I have.
Okay. Can you tell me what kind of tool is it? I mean, why do you use Power Query? And can you walk me through a project that you did using Power Query?
So the one that we did had to do with customer churn, and we had basically two tables, one indicating customer information, so like where they were from, where.
Okay, hi Olumide. So I think you can stop it there. I just wanted us to have a glimpse at how this works out. So you can just leave it. Yeah. So this is how it happens. So typically we interview you and then we give you feedback. There's also the feedback side of things, right? So for Santiago, he just started his internship and this was just 4 weeks in. So he got a lot of feedback, obviously, on things that he can improve on so that, he stands a chance to get a job. Because again, that's the essence of this session. For you to know things you need to improve on. Whether you are on the hot seat or not, there is so much for you to gain because you'll be seeing how that person is giving feedback and you'll be picking it up also. Right. So it happens every Thursday throughout the internship program at Amdari. And this is a feedback from one of the interns that joined the session, where he said, I had an incredibly valuable session yesterday. We provided practical guidance, clear strategies that helped me understand how to present myself confidently and professionally. And then let's just come down to this part. He said, overall, the interview preparation session has made a meaningful difference in my readiness to apply for jobs. And I feel far more capable of performing well. This person sent it to his team lead. All right. So like I said earlier, these are ways that this program is helping. So at the end of the day, everything I've been trying to say is that your role must be qualified and be under the sponsorship list, and then make sure you take the course, your role qualifies, please gain the experience next before you start applying. Get your leg in the door, right? So that you stop wasting time and applying blindly and you're more strategic about it. So please build proof and then chase the opportunities, right? Build the proof first and then chase the opportunities. So moving on. So one of the key things, please move on to the next slide. One of the key things that you need to do, like I said already, is you need to pick the career path that you want to just a minute. All right. Let's move on to the next slide, please. So you need to work on projects and build proof before you move on to the next thing. Now, a way to build projects that is beyond simulation is to have the one that gives you access to working in a team, meeting with stakeholders, receiving client feedback, and solving real business challenges. Just like Jerry said, when he was sharing his testimonial, what he got with Amdari is purely this. Real tools, real collaboration, real delivery, right? With somebody that can give you reference, which is what you get from Amdari. The reference letter comes during your internship. The minute you need it, just reach out to us. So now let's take a look at those roles that really get sponsored. We've said so many things, right? Let's take a look at those roles that really get sponsored. So this one is from IDC. Move on to the next. This one is from IDC report. And these are the roles right here. We have the AI and machine learning role, which is directly under data science. We have network security, which is directly under cyber security. We have data analyst, data engineer, DevOps, IT business analyst, IT project managers. You can see this is a screenshot from the report. So this is for you to know that all of these career paths are in demand. I know that somebody asked me a question earlier and I said that I had, a snippet. And so if you're still here, please just give me a thumbs up in the chat. You asked something about project management and Scrum. So you can see that we have project management listed here also, right? So these are the career paths that are in demand. Now, and according to what you see here on this report, it says the following positions are in the top 15 of in-demand tech roles, according to an analysis of thousands of job postings and Robert Half's placement, right? So you can see that this is based off of thousands and thousands of roles. Now, we also have another one from the World Economic Forum, and it's still the same job. So it's just me validating with more reports, right? That this career path, can you move on to the next? A career path that fall under the jobs that recruiters are hiring for. Just next, right? So they fall under the career path that recruiters are hiring for. So, and it's pretty much all of the career paths that I've been reiterating and repeating over and over. Okay, so I would say we should take a job readiness test, but because of time and so that I can take your questions, as long as you fill this form, you will have access to that. So please feel free to take that job readiness test after this call, right? So how do you make yourself employable? I have said it over and over. Please move on to the next. I said it over and over. Work on actual project. And Amdari, go to the next. And Amdari gives you that opportunity to work on these projects, right? So let's break it down. Like I said earlier, every project you work on at Amdari is actually a story waiting to be told during an interview. So what are the tools that you'll be using to solve actual business problems during your internship? So let's say you're in as a data analyst. Can you move on? Let's say you're in as a data analyst, right? Just move on. Just move on. So you're in as a data analyst. You'll be working with tools like SQL, Excel, Power BI, etc. And some projects would have you working as a business intelligence analyst. I know somebody asked me this earlier. You work on some projects as a BI analyst, marketing analyst, or even sales analyst, or operations analyst, just to mention a few. As a data scientist, you'd work on you'd use AWS, Azure. So when I was speaking to somebody that asked a question around cloud engineering, I mentioned, okay, I think he's off the call now because of his work, right? So I mentioned that cloud engineering falls under data engineering, and you can easily work on projects with tools like that. So if you take a look at data engineering, you see AWS, Azure, cloud, Google Cloud, that's GCP, and also using tools like Docker. I know Docker is not listed here, but again, all of these tools, it's not limited to this. These are just some tools that you use in solving real business problems during your internship. And on some of these projects, as a data engineer, you can see right here that we have AWS Cloud Engineer, Azure Cloud Engineer, GCP Cloud Engineer, to mention a few. All right, let's move on. The next one is business analyst, right? If you're interning as a business analyst at Amdari, you get to work on projects with tools like SQL, Power BI, Notion, Raw.io, to mention a few. And on some projects, you're working as a business systems analyst, operations analyst, requirements analyst, right? Systems analyst, just to mention a few. And for project management, you're working with tools like Confluence, ClickUp, Jira, Trello, and some projects will have you working as Agile Project Manager, Scrum Master, IT Project Manager, and also project Scrum Master, just again to mention a few. Now let's take a look at the cybersecurity niche. So we've gone ahead to break it down into 3 different categories. So we have the first category, right, or specialization, areas of specialization. So we have SOC, we have ethical hacking, and then we have GRC. So all of these category specializations has their own tools that you use, right? So just like everything I've been mentioning, so you work with Splunk, you work with Wireshark, Nmap, Autopsy, and the likes. On some projects, you're a SOC analyst, you are a SIM analyst, digital forensics, etc. Same thing with Pentester, right? Ethical hacker, white hat hacker, and the like. And the same thing with the GRC, analyst. So I've been saying so much about our project and the quality of what you get. I'd like to quickly highlight something, and this has to do with the quality of team leads that will be working with you. I mentioned earlier that this is not a simulation, and you will not be working alone or in isolation. Please move on to the next one. And I said that you will not be working alone or in isolation. Now, just click on next, please. Click on next. Okay, that's okay. So no. Just go back. Yeah. So this is one of our specialists at Amdari. By specialist, I mean one of the mentors that works with our interns. Her name is Jennifer, and she just offboarded her August cohort of data analysts. So she's one of our data analytics team leads. So she just offboarded them, and you can see part of the messages she got here from them after their offboarding and everything. The first message reads, "Thank you so much, Jennifer. Thank you for all your guidance, support during my internship. I truly appreciate everything I have learned from you. To my amazing colleagues, see you all at the top." Colleagues being fellow interns. Like I said, you're not working with me. This is not a simulation. This other person says, "Thank you, Jennifer, for being an amazing mentor. It was a pleasure meeting, great mind. I pray we excel in all our endeavors." Definitely going to miss the drop-in sessions. The drop-in session is the stand-up meeting that I was hinting at earlier, which happens twice every week for every team, right? And you guys get to pick the time and day of the week that you want to work. So it's not a more that would say, "Oh, Sarah, for your team, you guys would meet Mondays and Fridays. Oh, Ifeoluwa, for your team, you guys are going to meet Tuesdays and Thursdays. Or Omomi, for your team, you guys are going to meet Fridays and Thursdays." That's not the case, right? You guys and your team members pick the time, and then you let your team lead, somebody like Jennifer. I'm not saying Jennifer will be your team lead. I'm just saying somebody like Jennifer will lead you. So Amdari has unpicked this quality specialist that work closely with you. So your team lead is not an intern. Your team lead is not an intern. In fact, Jennifer was spotlighted just 2-3 weeks ago by I think Global Tableau community. They have this community and all of that. So she is that good, right? This is the quality of professionals that our interns get to work closely with. So this last message is the most important that I want you to see here. This person says, thank you, Amdari. I truly cherish every moment here. Within my first month of joining, I was fortunate to land my first data analytics role with a US-based fintech company. A special thanks to Jennifer for all your support and effort. Goodbye, everyone. She said her first data analytics role, she got it in just 1 month of joining. So when people say that for somebody to get a data analyst, for somebody to get a job just few months in, that would mean that that person has worked before. No, they say it themselves. This is my first job ever in this field, right? And they get it 1 month in, 2 months in, 3 months in. This is the quality of, this tells the quality of project that they get. So let's keep this slide because of time. Let's keep this, right? So these are just more people that have gotten jobs that I've interviewed. Just keep this because of time. So we'll just quickly skip to the testimonial of how our reference letter at Amdari really helps our interns land jobs, which is this. Now you can see this first reference. It says, Olainka has nominated you to provide an employment reference for their application to Healthcare Ireland. And the second one reads, the above named has been offered a position as a systems analyst with our company and has provided your details as a referee. This is how our interns reach out to us requesting for reference. Do we provide it? 100% yes, we do. Let's move on to the next one so we can quickly listen to Toyin. Just move to the next one. Okay. Oh, I thought I had Toyin's testimonial here. So I would like us to quickly play Toyin's testimonial. So just for a few seconds. So Olumide, I will share that with you real quick so we can play it for a few seconds. So while that's coming up, So again, like I said, honestly, we're only going to be playing for a few seconds, not even anything long. Just a minute.
Yeah, congratulations on landing
Oh, okay,
the
you have
job
it.
as
Thank you
a
very much.
business manager.
So can you move to 4 minutes, 15 seconds? Just move to 4 minutes, 15 seconds. Yeah, 4 minutes, 15 seconds. You move back. Okay, it's okay, it's okay. Just play it. So just listen to her for a few seconds.
Tools that I've learned at Tamdari, using them and all this. So it was pretty good. And then the reference too from your hand was pretty tight because they actually had to mention it that my references were hair tight, that they were actually considering two people, but my references actually nailed it for me.
Amazing. That gladdens
Mm.
my heart. That really, really gladdens my heart.
You can stop it
So,
now.
last question.
You
So
can
if you were to
stop
speak
it
to
now. Thank
somebody
you
who
very
is
much.
on the
So I just
fence
wanted us
about
to hear
joining
that
Amjad,
part. Hi, Olumide. Thank you very much. So I just wanted us to hear that part. So you can hear from her. What helped her was the reference. There were two people being considered, but they picked her over the other person because according to the recruiters, her reference was very high. Now, for everybody that has been asking one major question, oh, Omomi, when is the next cohort? Oh, how do I enroll and everything? The next cohort is starting on the 6th of December, which is this Saturday. So if you'd love to join the next cohort, it is very simple and easy. All you have to do is fill this, use the link that I'll drop in the chat right now. And Olumide, let's go to the next slide. All right. So the enrollment fee is originally £500, but Amdari is running a discount that allows you to pay £310, and you can pay in 3 installments. So what this means is you get to pay £310 in 3 months. So you get to pay £103 today, £103 next month, and then £103 in January. Now this offer is limited to the next 5% because this has been on since the beginning of this month, right? We've been running this discount and we're closing it already because deadline is close by. So after we have about 5% who are taking advantage of this discount, we're closing it. So if 5% pay today, then by tomorrow we're going back to our original fee of £500. So for anybody who is willing, apologies for that. So for anybody who is willing to take advantage of this, all you have to do is use the link that I dropped in the chat, right? Just use the link that I dropped in the chat and you will get redirected. So Olumide, I think, let me share my screen. Let me share my screen. If it doesn't work, then you will go back to sharing. So I just quickly want to show us how to secure our spot. Thank you. Let me just show us out. So when you click on that link that I dropped in the chat, you will get redirected to this page. It's coming up. Yeah, it's up now. So you will get redirected to this page that you see on my screen, right? Just scroll down to any program of choice. You're interested in data analytics, you're interested in data science, you're interested in data engineering, whichever the case is for you, right? Scroll down to that part. Once you scroll down, click on the button that says Secure Internship. Once you click on that button that says Secure Internship, you will get redirected to this page. Right here on this page, please select the payment plan that works for you. Do you want to pay once? Do you want to pay twice? Or do you want to pay 3 times? All of it is here. So if you're paying 3 times, you get to pay £103. And then make sure you select your payment option, right? And then click on Secure Internship. Once you do that, you will see this breakdown. You pay today, your next payment will be due on the 29th of December, and the next one after that will be due on the 29th of January, right? So you're fine with that, click on proceed, and you'll be prompted to fill this form. It's a short form, your name, email address, and phone number. You're done with that, click proceed, and you'll be prompted to fill your card details. Once you've filled your card details, your payment becomes successful, and you get automatically redirected to this page. On this page, make sure you fill this form. It is the enrollment form, and it's how we get to send you your internship confirmation letter and everything like that, right? So once you get here, scroll down, fill it with your bio data, name, email address, phone number, location, and everything like that. Then click on next. Select the program you're interested in, data engineering, SOC, whichever one. Upload your payment receipt. It is always sent to your email or do a screenshot and then upload it. Then type the name on the account you used in paying. And then read the terms and conditions. Click yes, you've read it. And then how did you find out about Amdari? Select the option that applies to you. And then select your internship plan, 4 months. And then click on this. Final page, when do you intend to start? This Saturday, 6th of December or January? This discount is still applicable if you want to start in January. So, but you have to take advantage by today so that you stand a chance to use that discount. What influenced your decision? Type it here. And then, which of our sessions influenced your decision? So, by virtue of being on this call today, select Saturday info session and click on submit. That's how you secure your spot and enroll. So, thank you very much for your patience on the call. I will take questions right now. So, if you have any question for me, please indicate by raising your hand. Okay, so please, if you have any questions for me, please indicate by raising your hand, as I'll be attending to everybody's questions right now. So please indicate. Okay, Olanrewaju, please go on. Hi, Olanrewaju. Okay, Olumide, please, can you allow them on mute?
Hello, okay. Mute. Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yes.
Yeah, I just want to know, I'm willing to register now, and I want to know the exact time for that will start the internship, because so that it won't clash with the time that I'll be at work. The other one I didn't really enjoy it, not here, but other place, because there was a clash between my hour of work and the time. So that's what I want to know. Thank you.
Okay, so the first thing you want to know is what? Because I get the time, but I didn't get the first one.
The timing. No, the exact time. How will it look like? And the time for the internship. Maybe in the morning, maybe between hour of 9 and so time. At time, so that I won't be at work when the other thing is going on. No, I'm working. Most of us are working.
All right. Thank you very much for that. So it is very flexible. Like I was explaining earlier, right? The time for your meetings, for example, it's just twice in a week. That day of the week is something you select, right, with your team members. And the time is also something you select with your team members. But the remaining 3 days, because the internship is Mondays to Fridays. So if you're having meetings twice in a week, what happens to the remaining 3 days? The remaining 3 days, any time of the day that works for you, you can work on your task. It can be afternoon, maybe during lunch hour. It can be when you get back home from work in the evening, you work on your task. At the end of the day, you guys are working collaboratively, but everybody still has their delivery. So it's just like I'm here on this call with you today, right? I was explaining to somebody a few days ago. I'm posting a session with you. Somebody made sure that they gave you a reminder call. Now, that person has done their delivery, but their work is still tied to the success of my work. And the success of my work is still tied to the success of another person's work. So that's how the collaborative work happens, right? So I am here with you by 9, right? It doesn't necessarily mean another person has to be here with me by 9 from my team, right? So, and I'm telling you for a fact that that's exactly how it works. So the internship, the time you choose to do, to perform your task or work on your deliverable is dependent on you, but you have deadline. Every project you work on at Amdari takes 2 to 3 weeks completion period. So it depends on what the timeline has been set by the stakeholder. Oh, are you meant to be done in 2 weeks? Oh, are you meant to be done in 3 weeks? The scope and the stakeholders will determine. So if you're meant to be done in 2 weeks or 3 weeks, what are you supposed to complete this week? What are you supposed to complete next week? So the most important thing, make sure you're in sync with your team members and make sure that you're also carrying your team lead along. That's why you guys meet twice in a week. That's why you guys meet twice in a week. So that's the essence, right? So does that answer your question? So it's very flexible, right? Does that answer your question, Olanrewaju?
Yes, thanks so much.
You're welcome. I hope you'll be joining us also. Okay.
I'm paying now. I'm paying now.
Okay.
So
okay, awesome.
I'm thinking maybe
All
in 10
right.
minutes time.
Okay,
I'm
okay,
at
that's
work.
fine.
I'm just trying to listen, doing two things. I'm multitasking. I'm at work. Thanks so
Okay.
much.
All right, thank you very much. So, Millicent, let me quickly read Millicent's message before I respond to Olabisi. Having a care visa means being restricted to working only for the sponsor company. The goal is to transition into a business analyst role, but there is currently no BA experience. Okay, I believe you mean you don't have the experience. What challenges can arise when employers request a current employer as reference, especially since new sponsorship cannot? That's where Amdari comes in. Millicent. That's why I showed us the fact that Amdari gives you work reference letter, right? Even if you're done with your internship and you probably get a job or you're still applying or something, we still give you reference. So Amdari is that current place of work experience. And I just remembered that I didn't mention something. We also revamp your CV and optimize your LinkedIn. So we revamping your CV means that we're putting Amdari as your most recent place of experience as a business analyst. And when you need reference, Amdari steps in and we give reference. Do they need contact details? Do they need address? Do they need whatever it is? Or they need a letter-headed cover letter, right? Like the cover letter reference type of thing. We send that. And if it's a form, reference form that they want us to fill, because we get different, requests. Some people might be reference form where we're appraising that candidate that they want to hire. So whichever request they have, Amdari steps in at that as that employer who references you. And because you're coming in to work on actual business, like you're coming in to really work, so we're not making it up, and you are not lying either, right? You're coming to solve actual business problems, working in teams and all that. So nobody's lying. You're not lying. You're not making it up. You're really coming here to work, gain experience, have a team lead. So that's exactly how this works. So Amdari gives you that. So I believe that's something. Okay, thank you very much. So let me go to Olabisi. Hi, Olabisi. By the way, Millicent, I hope you join us also. Okay, hi, Olabisi.
Hi, it's me again. If you remember me, I'm not sure you do. I'm the lady that spoke about the guy that was speaking Yoruba as testimonial and calling
Oh, I
you
remember you
Rajara.
now.
Bless you.
Yeah, I
So,
remember you.
my question is about project management, right?
Okay.
As a project management person, as a project manager, I'm supposed to be coordinating and the team members and planning things and following up to be sure everybody's doing his work. So if I come to Abdari and work want to work as a project manager, and we have like 5 persons doing the project management thing, project management internship. How will I be able to practice as a project manager? Because everybody is supposed to be in that project manager space. So who coordinates who? Who will take the role of the product owner? Who will take the role of the dev person? And all those. Does that make sense to you? And you say you will be working on live projects. You said that. So the companies or whatever projects we are working
Hello?
on, it's supposed to be the sponsors that determine who the project manager is, isn't it? So, I mean, what's going to happen in that case? For clarification, then number two, it appears to me that yeah, you do all of these courses, but I have a feeling that you are more into the tech space. You are stronger in the tech space. That's why I feel you can prove me wrong because I'm planning to be a project manager with the NHS. I work with the NHS presently and I want to pivot, transition into that role, upscaling myself. So how do I come in? If this makes
All right.
sense to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Let me start with your first question. Having multiple project managers and you are meant to like manage people, coordinate the entire project development or project life cycle. So this internship cuts across. Now you said something also. You said, okay, when there was something you said about assigning, but I'll remember or I'll ask you
Yeah,
when
yeah,
I get
yeah. I was saying that, within a team, there are different, professionals within a team to, to do what task, like I would need a BA person within my team. I can also work as a BA person because of my training. I can hybrid. But it's not every project manager that's got the hybrid thing. So who start writing user story? Who will start using, does that, I don't, you sure on
Yeah, it
the,
makes
I
sense.
believe you.
Yeah, I get your question. So for the project management internship at Amdari, one key thing that you need to understand is for every project assigned to you, it happens during the project briefing. Now, this project briefing is the point or the day where you get to understand the business problem, right? The tools you're expected to use in solving the problem, and the role you play. That's where it is broken down. If it's a project that requires having BAs and all of that, yeah, I know you said that, okay, you can even work as a BA, but you won't be wearing that cap here. You'll be wearing the cap of a project manager. Now, under the role of a project manager, like I was explaining earlier, we have the IT project manager, we have the Scrum Master, we have the Agile project manager, and the likes, right? So it depends on the project at hand. That will determine what you're doing specifically. Some projects can require, and it's beyond just leading teams alone. Sometimes it's documentation. Sometimes it's you using Confluence to write your user stories. Let me fix my line. So sometimes it's you documenting, right? Giving reports. So it depends on this. And also the project, sometimes it's not the entire life cycle, most times because of timeline. That's why I said timeline also varies. Some projects will take longer, some projects will take shorter. The essence is so that you're able to work on quality project within that 4 months of internship. So for every project you work on, as it is assigned to you by your team lead during a project briefing, and you're introduced that, okay, this is the company that is facing this challenge, this is what they're expecting us to do, or what they're expecting us to work on. So that I don't talk too much, let me go to one of project management projects that we have here. So here's an example, stakeholder management project, right? And it's for Phoenix Tech CRM implementation. This is another one, planning and executing a hospital compliance audit readiness. So managing a project is not necessarily tied only. This is me answering your other question that we are specifically for project management now in the tech space. No, we have different industries that we cater to. So, and this one, you can see it's in healthcare, right? This one is in healthcare, hospital compliance audit readiness program, right? So we are not only for tech in terms of project management. The reason is we understand that a lot of people want to work across different industries as project managers. So while we have the IT project under project management internship, we also have other projects, across different sectors. So the other core tech side that we have is the data science, data engineering, and all. But one thing I still always tell people is for you to work in tech, right? There is a part where you work with an actual tech company or a normal, business company that is not tied to tech. It can be in another industry like logistics and supply chain, like FMCG, like healthcare, real estate, constructions. That's the same thing that happens here because in all of these, across all of these industries, you can still work as a tech professional. So working as a tech professional is not tied to only tech companies. I can
Yeah.
be a data analyst for one healthcare company. I can be a data, the same thing with project management. So
I,
we make sure
I,
that the projects cover it.
I understand. Do you, I'm sorry to ask, do you also will you be able to make applications for people? Do you have that service as part of any of your packages?
To apply for you,
Yes, to make applications
yeah,
because
we have that. But your
I'm very
internship
tired
does
of
not cover
applying
it.
now. I'm tired.
Okay, so we have it, but your internship does not cover it. So if you need
Okay.
somebody to actively apply on your behalf, yes, we have
Mm,
it. Yeah.
okay. Okay. So are we for the internship? In the moment we register, we we begin our hands-on
Yes,
work
yes,
immediately.
yes.
Okay.
It's starting this Saturday, like I mentioned
Mm,
when I was speaking to
okay.
Maggie.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
your first project will be assigned to you and your teammates on Monday.
Okay.
That's next week
Okay.
Monday. Eight,
All right.
yeah, 8th December.
Irrespective of the background of the people that we are in the group with, what of if they are people that are just starting and do not have any idea of what to do? Does
Okay,
the
we
team
don't
lead?
take people that have not taken courses, right? We
Oh,
only take,
fine,
no, you need to
fantastic.
have taken a course so that you don't drag people back.
Oh,
So,
right, fantastic. That
but
that's okay.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
okay.
So
At my first meeting, the discount was lower than this, or am I the one dreaming?
exactly, that's why you should take advantage now, Olabisi. The discount was lower, and like I said on this call today, this discount is going back to the original fee. So,
No, no, I'm part of the first meeting, so I'm
but you
taking
did
that
not
discount.
secure your spot that period. You did not.
What do you mean? Because you didn't talk about project management and leadership well now. We were
Oh,
we were basically
okay.
it wasn't as clarifying as this one, and I couldn't make a decision.
Oh,
So
but
I'm
now
a
you're.
special candidate. We will talk behind the camera.
But
Let's take this off this platform, please.
so Olabisi,
Because
talking behind the camera means the limited. Somebody already said they're paying, so we're down to 4 more people. So
ah,
I'm really glad that you also said that the discount was lower than this previously. So, and we always have time slots and sorry, limited time and also slots for people. So the minute it's taking, we just close it, right? So
so what's going to happen to me?
take advantage of the limited discount that is currently available.
Ah, oh my God.